But I believe that by overwhelming majority, you and I, in the long run, and if it be necessary, you and I will act together to protect, to defend, by every means at our command.
So, Mount Meru is the centre, and to many faiths, it is a sacred five-peaked mountain of Hindu, Jain and Buddhist cosmology. So it's intriguing, so there's a lot of people who think differently on what it actually is. But according to science, science adds to 11 in gematria, but that's just a coincidence. That number 11, that won't go away. Anyway, they say the universe doesn't have a centre. Since the Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago, they say basically the universe is expanding. Now, do you see what I see? Now, this just made me laugh and smirk. The number used for the Big Bang was 13.7. It's a hidden 11. 1 add 3 add 7 equals 11. 11. We're in the realm of 11. Just a coincidence, guys. But anyway, back to this. Now, this is one of the most famous images for Mount Meru, and this is on the Mercator map. Now, this is what I'll be using and showing you in this map for something I've found, and it will blow your mind. And obviously that's zoomed in, and if I just put move out a bit more, you can just see the full map. So it's an intriguing map. So when you start to think out the box, and you'll see other people in the community showing you images of this, of the North Pole and how it was blackened out, people automatically start to think, is it Hollow Earth, what they're trying to hide in the north? Now, this is intriguing, is it? Because you can believe in anything. I don't hold any, grudges like some people do. If you say a map or you support a shape of the earth, I don't. I'm all about learning and learning off each other. But that black hole in the north, well, Greenland's at the side, and it's just a pure coincidence that the god of doorways has an island in Greenland called Janis Island. That's just a coincidence, guys. No one else has talked about this. Oh, sorry, a couple of channels I have who borrowed it off me but didn't tell people where they got it from. But hey, what can we do? And for anyone else thinking, oh, well, what about Antarctica? Many years ago, there's another island down there below called Janis Island 2, right next to Shortcut Island, for anyone who believes there is extra land outside of the ice wall. There's 2 islands, both called Janos, a doorway, a portal. But that's just a coincidence, guys, and I'm just start raving mad. But what can we do? You just move on and show people, and hopefully the people will come back to you to find, more information on this. So it's very, very intriguing about this mountain. It just blows you away. Now, as you can see from the Mercator map, I want to go back to that. North Pole is indicated in Latin. It's Poles Activis, and that means North Pole. So it's intriguing. Now, Mount Meru is surrounded by 4 large islands, as you can see on the image on the screen, if hopefully I've put it on. Now, in these different faiths, this is what they're called. Now, it's very hard to pronounce, but Purvadadia in the east, which is a semicircular and white in colour. These are the name of the islands. Yam Bud Viper in the south, which is a trapezoidal and blue. This is the continent we humans live in. Paragoudania, enjoyer of cattle in the west, which is circular and ruby red, and Uttarakuru, unpleasant sound in the north, which is square and green. Now, on the image that they show, there's no green, it's like a yellow, but that just could be dyed through age. But it's funny, look at the colours, white, red and green. Well, we see in red, green and blue, don't we? And the white is the mixture of those 3 colours. So there is something to this. Just thinking out the box and a little bit different. That's all we ask, and here's that image that I've already shown in the intro, but it's intriguing. So in these faiths, they talk about Mount Meru as this, I don't want to get too much early because I want to talk about it, but it's a mythical centre of the universe surrounded by 4 islands. And obviously on Mercator's map it shows you in a western type of philosophy, which is a little bit different, and this is what I want to be talking about, guys. So now remember, Mount Meru is the centre of the universe, or to others the centre of this realm, according to what map and different theories that you actually believe. So it's important, it's spiritual, physical, metaphysical. Well, you keen-eyed flockers, and there is some of you, a lot of you actually, would have seen Black Rock in the intro. Now you got to be thinking, what the hell's he putting Black Rock in this for? Well, some of you may be aware again or not, Black Rock is one of the most influential investment firms in the world. They are at the centre of everything, and hence why I'm saying centre, because it's talking about Mount Meru being the centre and Black Rock is the centre of everything. You've only got to briefly look into it and you can see how they reach. I mean, there's just an image of a black rock to show you behind the name Black Rock. That's a little clue. So you might be thinking, where am I going with this? And well, you'd be right. Anyway, so Mount Meru has another name, and that other name is Rupes Nigra, means black rock. Tell me your mind's not blown. The most influential, one of the influential companies in this realm, is named after the so-called mythical island of Mount Meru, but under the name Rupes Nigra, Black Rock. There cannot be no coincidence there. They have labelled that to coincide with the importance of Mount Meru. So this Phantom Island is believed to be 33 miles wide and made of a black rock, hence why they've called themselves Black Rock. Now Mercator, as you can see from these maps back on, described the rock's circumference as 33 French miles located at the magnetic North Pole, or at the North Pole itself, hence why people believe to be at the centre of this realm. And then obviously in them faiths it's the centre of the universe as well. Now the idea came from a lost work titled Inventio Fortunata, and the island featured on maps from the 16th and 17th century, so again influential, including those of Gerardus or Gerudus Mercator, who you've seen on the screen. So Mercator described the island in a 1577 letter to John Dee, again the Great Vowel Shift period, and I'll just put a little image of the letter itself, you can go and research it. And here's the letter now. Well, a part of it obviously, it's like, you know, how many pages. So it talks about, in the midst of the 4 countries is a whirlpool into which there empty these 4 indrawing seas which divide the north, and the water rushes around and descends into the earth just as if one were pouring it through a filter funnel. It is 4 degrees wide on every side of the pole, that is to say 8 degrees altogether, except that right under the pole there lies a bare rock in the midst of the sea. Its circumference is almost 33 French miles, and it is all of a magnetic stone. And obviously this was talks about Jacobus Canoinen, and this was years ago, so you can just see the significance of it. They're talking about a magnetic island at the centre of this realm, and that is why all compasses point north, but it's always inward. Tell me you're not intrigued, and you're not especially intrigued and looking at how I'm looking at it. Is this where Blackrock's got the title? Mount Meru and all its other names is the centre of the universe, the centre of everything, and they've named themselves Blackrock. Cannot be a coincidence, and it's just one of the things that blew my mind, guys. And something else got me, and it's coincidentally Blackrock was founded in New York. As you remember from my old video showing you this, New York is the 11th state. Now this will tie into something else, so let's get to it. And can you name a black rock and a mineral that gets talked about quite a bit in the community? And I'll have a little dance on the screen for a few seconds, see if you get it. There's actually a few, but this is the main one. It's carbon, and also it can be clear in diamond form, but as you can see, carbon, periodic table, and obviously the famous 666. But look at carbon, its periodic table number and its element weight. Look, 6 add 1 add 2 add 1 add 1 is 11. It's showing you it's 11 again. When will this be taken seriously and not just counted as a numeric coincidence? It's just crazy. So obviously the 666 is famous, isn't it, in regard to the carbon. What if I told you this isn't what we all think? Would that be a surprise, especially in the community or not? I just don't know, but this is really important. Now the number 666 obviously relates to the carbon atom, as you can see on the screen, and man is associated with man. Now some say it's the magical God-given chemical code, and it's a carrier, and it is basically the very code for all life. And obviously the Bible relates to it being 666, and that number is associated with the beast. But what if I told you it's a map? Would that raise your eyebrow? Would that not blow your mind like it did me? Because it really is this significant, and I believe it was left so we could find our way back. How significant is that, and how wow and mind-blowing is that? So here it is, guys, and this is just my theory, my evidence, what I've found. I looked at the Mercator map and I've highlighted it, but I've slightly turned it off. It's, you know, is it axis to call it? I've just turned it to the right, that you actually see it on you know, when you look on the interweb and in books. And it stood out for me because, you know, it's the way I look at things. I always see patterns and different things, and I thought, wow, the actually 666 carbon meme that people are throwing about in the community is laid out similar to the Mercator map. What if the Mercator map was done? It was done in the Great Vowel Shift period. The guy never left never left. He had people go out, monks, etc., etc., to make these maps. Now it's told, I've showed you so far that people reckon it's the centre of the universe. I've also told you people reckon it's the centre of this realm. It's in the north, and it has a magnetic mountain. But what if it was a map to show you where we came from? Just look. You have the Mercator map slightly turned on the left, and on the right you have the similar map a bit blown up so you can actually see it. And look at the 666 meme. It fits near enough perfectly. And I've told you, people talk about how it's a creation, it's a spiritual, it's metaphysical, it's basically the centre of all the universe. And the carbon, black rock, everything fits. Tell me this is not blowing your mind, because it's blowing mine now. If anyone else did this on a big channel, it would go viral. And look, Mount Meru. And I've showed you Mount Meru is in us already in very old videos, but this is taking it to the next level. Just look, you have Mount Meru connected to 666, the 6 protons, the 6 electrons, and the 6 neutrons, and obviously the code for man, obviously women too. That is huge. And like I said, if something else did this, someone else did this, this would be wow. And because it's little old me and you guys, it gets overlooked all the time. This is significant. This is showing you that that map has been hidden within us, because everything is in us. Ianos, Janos, in us, in us. Everything is in us. Everything's a doorway, and we just have to find the clues hidden within. That's why you get so much things tied to anatomy, because we are the universe, the one verse, the one song. Now, it's just blown my mind, guys. Seriously, this fabled meme that gets passed around, 666 carbon, we're all the beast, and it's a map. It's a map to where we came from. He just showed you at the beginning. The other faiths and religions talk about how we came from the blue side, the blue island. And other people have talked about this is where we come from. This is the centre of the universe. That's why BlackRock named himself after that, because it's the centre. It's the black rock. That's the whirlpool. I've showed you how significant could this be, and this is just going to be the start. It's going to be a short video just to get this to get this theory out there, and then prove and see what else I can find. I'm just absolutely, guys, how excited I am. But look what I found. Mount Meru, the centre. The centre is us, and it's been hidden, and there's always been a map there. Now I'm going to show you in a minute the other things that I found a few years ago in regards to Mount Meru, which ties all this in together. Guys, you can see how excited I am. So I've just showed you the big wow, how it's us, it's the map home. Look at the word Meru, and this is from a fellow flocker, and I didn't see it, so thank you to her for showing me this. Look at the word Meru. You rearrange the words. It spells you are me. Huh? What have I just been telling you? So even in the word, the name, it can be rearranged to show you you are me. You are carbon. You are the 666. Wow. Now this is just my personal perspective on the evidence that I found. It's not meant to be fact. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Anyone who takes this offensive, this is more intriguing, and this is mind-blowing. Mount Meru is us. I've said that in my old videos. Now I've got even more proof. It just all adds up. Guys, this is huge. So I want to carry this a little bit on, because I saw a connection while researching for this video, and it's this image that I use at the beginning, and it all ties together. Now hopefully before I ask the question you might spot something, but I'll leave it up to you clever guys to see if you can find it before I ask. So what you're actually seeing is man as a centre of the universe, right? Illustration from D. Operation Deo or Dei, and it's by Saint Hildegard of Bingen, what a name, circa 12th century. Again, this great vowels L-shift period that I've talked about, which is essential to everything. So as you can see, can you spot anything before I zoom in and magnify it for you? Right guys, you've got a few seconds. And here he goes. So I'm going to magnify it now. Yes, have a look on the stomach. What do you see? Now to you randy people out there, you might see a penis. And it does actually look like a penis. But does it not look like a mountain peak, maybe with a bit of snow on? I see that, but could it be a pareidolia? Because it is possible, but I've showed it to a few people and they can actually see the face, not the face of like the mountain, Mount Meru. The image is actually showing you that we're the centre of the universe, and coincidentally on his stomach he has a mountain. What's the odds on that? Now, going back 3-4 years ago, roughly, I did a video about the sacred connection. Now, what you're seeing here is an ancient image of Mount Meru. We have a Mount Meru in South Africa named Mount Meru, but this is the world mountain, the mythical world mountain, Mount Meru. I believe it was on pottery. And when I was doing my video, I noticed how identical it was to the sacred region of the sacral. Now, what you're seeing on the screen here is the sacral, the caudioequina on the left. So this is the sacred area, the coccyx, and it has 4 sacral nerves on each side, and you can see it on the right. Just look at the image, I've coloured it in on the left. It is nigh on identical to the sacred mountain. The sacred mountain's on the left, and the sacred area, which is called the sacrum or the sacral, is on the right. You can see the coccyx at the top, looking like a mountain, the 4 sacral nerves on each side has 4 sacral nerves, and look at that coming out the bottom. That's the caudioequina. This blew me away, and I did this 3 years ago roughly. I bet you've not seen this before unless you've been on my channel. No one talks about it, and people don't promote channels that are small or any ideas. It's scared, it's the ego. We have to share brilliant ideas when we see it, and this is just showing you, could the Mount Meru be inside us, be us, like some first believe it is? Well, now you can see I was bang on the money, because what I've just recently found. You are me. Carbon 666, the Black Mountain. I know it is magnetite, but it all fits. But carbon and the map, it just blowed me away, and I just want to see what your guys' reaction to this. But as you can see on the screen, this is from an old video on the sacred area, the connection. Go check it out. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. And as you can see, another image of the holy mountain Meru is basically in us. It's a sacred area, and roughly nearly area on the image on the screen, the artist who drew it drew a mountain. You can't get any more slam dunk for me, guys. Right guys, I'm going to finish with this, and because I'm not even going to do any thoughts, because I want to just give it a wow factor in the sense of not hearing my voice. I will do this, the thoughts again in part 2, because there's going to be a lot on this, because I'm seeing a lot of things in regard to this, but I just thought this would be nice and more in your face, showing you that it is us. Mount Meru is us. It's carbon 666. But while I was looking into this, and obviously carbon 666 is basically what the Bible says is the devil's number, which we know it's not, but I'm working off that principle. So they mentioned the devil, and when I was researching this, what you can see now on screen is what is known as devil's curve, and it nearly fits. You can see where I'm coming from, because there's different types of devil curves, but you can actually see on the screen it does near enough fit with like the infinity symbol in the middle, and obviously Janus is associated with that, but it does fit and nearly enough fit. And it was like, wow, they've called it the devil's curve, and we're talking about 666 being Mount Meru. Anyway, what is devil curve? I don't know, but I'm going to read you a little bit out. It'll probably confuse you like me. I'm no good at geometry, but it's linked to geometry. In geometry, a devil's curve, and geo means earth, remember, a devil's curve, also known as the devil on 2 sticks. 2 sticks? 2 ones? 11? Wow. So you can see why I was getting excited. And it says, also known as Devil on Two Sticks, is a curve defined in the Cartesian plane. And a Cartesian plane in geometry is a coordinate system. In a plane is a coordinate system that specifies each point uniquely by a pair of real numbers called coordinates, which are then assigned distances to the point from two fixed perpendicular oriented lines called coordinate lines. So it's correct in regards to geometry and coordinates. And I'm talking about a place called Mount Meru being us. Wow, and it's coordinates based. But being honest, it's a lot to take in. Maths is not my strongest point. I'm a dreamer and a thinker. But it goes on to say the devil's curves were discovered in 1750 by Gabriel Kramer, who studied them extensively. The name comes from the shape its central lemniscate takes when graphed. The shape is named after the juggling game Diablo, which is named after the devil, and which involves two sticks, a string, and a spinning prop in the likeness of a lemniscate. So that's where it's based. And when you look at it, it does look a little bit like Mount Meru turned on its side. And if you look at for a few more, you then see there's one that it looks like owl eyes. And as soon as you look at owl eyes, you think of Moloch and all them associated images and memes that people make. We'll not say who they are because we already know if you follow my channel. But that just blew me away. And remember from my even older video that owl and oculus meant the owl, the world belongs to us. Just gets you thinking. And obviously when we're looking at the electromagnetic fields and such, this famous image of like the two hemispheres joining looks like owl eyes. And then we're showing you obviously the devil's curve looking like an owl. I just thought it was something intriguing to finish on for this part one. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I appreciate the support and the love and the comments. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you to Adam for lending me the intro music again. His link's in the description. Please give him a follow and love and support. And if you want to take it a bit further, the link for buy me a coffee will be in description. So guys, thank you for your support. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It will be a part one, and other parts I will have my thoughts. I just wanted for this first big one to just, leave it there, let you wanting to have more. So guys, take care, stay safe. All the links are in the description. Adams, buy me a coffee, etc. So take care, stay safe, always wear a smile.